Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Jun fight rigging kind of combo-y style thing where we play fight rigging on turn 3 and then we play it in a hammer skull or an Archfiend of the Dross to trigger the fight rigging and cast a spell that's hidden underneath to hopefully hit either a Breach the Multiverse, a Virtue, or a Natali. At the end of the day, trying to wind up with Natali in play and some of our opponent's stuff along that route as well. Outside of that, I have kind of like not an important message, but a message at the end of the video. If you just like want the deck list, maybe skip to that. Maybe you're interested. It's talking about playing some paper Magic until the new set drops. And then paper will get access to the cards early. So if that's something you're interested in, I do talk about it at the end, and I do kind of need some feedback. If I don't get any, I'm just not going to do it because YouTube doesn't really like switch ups like that. So outside of that, let's go ahead and hop into the games. I hope you all enjoy them today, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And let's just go out there and game. All right, well, go first, and our hand is actually pretty clean here for the most part, so we'll keep this. We get to play this down tapped immediately, play the Gorge, play the Bramble Familiar, maybe they remove it. What on earth? The Bramble Familiar, this is kind of just like a Mirage for now. We don't actually need it for anything. Shredder, okay. Let's play Forest. Let's play Fight Rigging. See if we find anything nice. Oh, man, all those are good. I think I'm going to grab the Atali for now. Put a counter here and attack. It's a big meaty creature, but we'll see what they do. Most of the time, these decks want to trigger the Shredder. Oh, let's go. Well, we know Atali's resolving. We know we're triggering their Shredders twice. That's kind of the scary thing. They've been on land. They've been in another land. So Shredder is really just looted for 2. They attack me for 1. We'll take our time. We'll just play this Proving Ground tapped. And we'll play a Hammer Skull. A Fight Ring will trigger. We'll put it on this. We'll cast an Atali. These Shredders will trigger. And our opponent says, already, never mind. I'm good. I've had enough. That's an Atali. I don't want to see what happens anymore. Opponent goes first. These tap lands, man, they are a little tough. We have a draw. Maybe we'll draw an untapped source. Kind of just keep this and hopefully it connects well. It so far doesn't. In Bramble Familiar, if it survives, we get this Raptor in pretty quickly. On a white could mean a lot of things. Let's play another Carnage. Let's just play out the Lore Keeper because that means we get to play the Raptor early as well. And the Familiar is not necessarily as pressing. But we'll see. Field of Ruin come in. Fine. Haunted Ridge, like we said. Now our Raptor comes down, can make some mana for us. Where it will be sitting at 6 because, again, Lore Keeper can't count towards the Breach. And it can't count towards these Archfiends. But they're going to pop a land. We have only 2 basics. We need to make sure we grab a Swamp. There's a blue land from our opponent. Okay. So they are blue-white. They just didn't have a blue source yet. The populate not quite online. Well. Emperor is possible, of course. Play land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't quite have the mana to activate that because, again, these don't work. Let's go to combat first. Double attacking, I think, is a good move. Elspeth Smite on my Raptor would be devastating. But I feel like we have a Sunfall coming. So I'm not going to commit any more to the board. We have Cottage attacks. We have Dross to play after combat. Get lost on that. Sure. Yep. All fine with me right now. And the other thing is, as long as we hit a land drop every turn, eventually we'll get to Breach the Multiverse. And there's the old-fashioned temporary lockdown for the maps, because Get Lost is arguably a bad card. Some people don't seem to think so. I kind of sit on the fence of whether it's good or bad. It's just so weird. Like, making a random 1/1 super strong is tough in of its own. You're right to second main phase, whether that was on accident or what. I mean, we can't be holding anything, so. Another get lost in there, so clearly they have some answer for this. And really knows what it is. Combat. Attack for 6. Go hit. Maybe they're going to try to outgain us in terms of like the life that this will provide, but we're going to put in a threat that forces them to kind of wipe the board off because it's now a 1-turn clock. We don't want to commit this because Sunfall obviously is pretty bad, and we can always cycle this Bramble Familiar. But also, if we hit a land, like, then Reach is very possible. Sunfall comes in. No mana besides 1. I guess this is as good a time as any to attack with the Cottage. Get one of the Mendings. Set them down to 6. We'll just see what happens from here. They go straight to second main again. Now with all this mana and a Field of Ruin up, we're not going to try to attract any attention that we don't have to. We're going to play a Hammer Skull. Field of Ruin most likely going to target and blow up our Cottage regardless. Could be a hard counterspell maybe. Maybe they're nervous about the 6/6, which is also a lethal threat. But kind of not. They do have 2 extra life just kind of sitting in the pocket. Dice of Cover Up. Sure. Those in your deck, big dog. Want to play this Bramble Familiar? Do you have a Make This Spear? Or is this just bringing up this Incubate token? Like it's just the Incubate at this point. Dice of Cover Up is a little on the frustrating side just because obviously they can keep putting cards back in their deck. But for me, it is essentially a barrel nevertheless. I mean, let's force them out of counter spells first. Because if this resolves, I don't think they have counter magic. Yep. There they are. Attacks. We're fine. Okay. To discard 2. 2 lands it is. I don't think they've played really a land in a turn, no? Were those their draws? They might have played lands. Temporary Lockdown. They're going to take their own Incubate token. That kind of tells me they don't have a whole lot going on. So these breaches potentially are just good. Fire one off. Yep. And like I predicted, they are good. My opponent's graveyard, so I'll take a Wanderer. Sure. We're going. I'll just put in another Tully. I'll decline this because now it'll put in a Tully in my graveyard so they can't exile it with like a Sunfall or something. Fight Rigging, Temporary Lockdown. Temporary Lockdown doesn't do anything. We put Fight Rigging in. We just leave that in exile. I guess it's just like a creature with ward, just in case. Then take a 2/2. Fight Rigging will trigger. We'll target the 2/2. Play the Raptor. We'll go from there. Now we got stuff to do. And if they do play a Jace. Did I mill my basic? I did mill my basic. That's tough. Their Field of Ruin works. Well, the thing I was trying to bring up is if they do play Jace and they don't have one in hand and maybe they only play 1 or something. If we do get to play this Breach here and they do play that 1 Jace, we're at like a really high chance of hitting it. Minus. Claim this Raptor.
Protect the people.
Here. Not targetable with what's currently in their hand or with their mana account. Plus, like another Temporary Lockdown gets the Samurai, so no real reason to make it any bigger at the moment. Play another Field of Ruin. Field of Ruins right now are wastelands for us, but they still get to keep their land. Play land. Fire off this breach. Did you draw a counter spell? My opponent had nothing in their yard I can bring back? That's so cringe. I just playing a card that does nothing. I'm at 15, they're at 18. Vitali, you better not betray us now. Find that, of course. Guess I probably could have minus the Emperor. This is an artifact, right? Of course it is. It's always an artifact. Guess just Hammer Skull. What's here?
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Here. 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 Do all these nonsense plays. Pretty much chalked up, to be honest. In memory deluge. I mean, you have. Let's just look at the top 7 of your library. Yeah, so look at one half of your deck, pretty much. Point. There's a Jace in that pile. I will be upset. Alright. I have no idea if there's Sunfall in their deck, like left. If there's 4 in the graveyard, I'm not really looking at this point. I just didn't assume that. I mean, if I was going to hit another Emperor, I guess that's more of a reason to just activate Emperor, right? Sure. You're going to look at the other 4 cards in your deck. I have 14 cards. Just looks at the top 4. They already looked at the bottom 7. They grabbed 2. Well, I guess bottom 5 because they grabbed 2 out of that 5. And we get there. Wow. I was not ready to get there. I was so ready to see a Jace. Honestly, typical out of our opponent. They're trying to play like mill over control, where basically they grind the game completely out, and where they use decisive cover up to put decisive cover ups back in their deck over and over again, and win with like an Emperor just constantly hitting, or they're making their opponent mill out. So very cool overall, because they didn't resort to Jace mill win, which if they did, we probably would have hit it and milled them, but that's not the point. All right, well, our opponent's first. We have Fight Ringing, and we have 8 draws for it, so sure. Voltage. Oh, they're giving us time, so we'll take the time. I would have to assume this big Rakdos. Breacher, sure. Ooh. I don't think we do. I think we just play our Fight Ring and hope it hits something well, and then play this Archfiend. If I hit something well, it could be a lot of things. Breach is really nice. Tap out. Play Shielded or something. I don't know. Let me play my Archfiend and put a counter on it. They attack, they'll get both modes, though. That's the scariest thing. Theological Appraiser is obviously something they could play. Might hold interaction. If they had interaction, they should have held interaction. I'll draw. Sure. Fine. Play this. We'll play Archfiend in the draws. Trigger. We'll put a counter here. We'll cast Breach. I'll take this one of my yard. I'll take a second Archfiend. Seem pretty good together. Go for the throw alone is going to drain them for 4 damage. That's really cool. Is this under owner's control, or when each... If this dies, they get it under their control? That's insane. I shouldn't have grabbed it. Uh-oh. So there is a difference if you're unsure about an owner of a card and a controller of the card. So some effects say this happens and it goes into the controller's thing. we currently are the controller of this card. That's why up here it says owner. Now, why this matters is in some effects, like this, return to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. If this dies, it goes as a land under their kind of board state here, which is a little frustrating, but at the same time is what it is. Honestly, for this damage, for 6, 8-ish, I guess I can have this bat back. And honestly, I'm kind of just doing this to kind of prove a point here. So now we'll see. It'll trigger, but they're going to get drained for 4. We'll gain some life. And now it goes back to their graveyard, goes under their control. I should have read it before just snagging it, but I just didn't think it was going to work that way. Now they take 4. What is your play? I currently have lethal in play. We put a counter on here. It's for 14. We go for the throat to Shieldred. They'll take 4. And it's all good. Look in the graveyards. Do they have a... they might have a cruelty. They're just looking for something to bring back. You can bring back a raptor if you'd like. Maybe they'll look in my hand and they'll take a creature. But if this is all they're doing, we have the win in hand. Oh, they could bat me. That will do it. Although, still kind of a troublesome situation for you. Because now, even if the bat is the play, I play land, I bring up the cottages. I bring up a cottage, and then I attack all out here. Sure. Bring up cottage. Yep. I do what we got to do here. By rigging. Put it on another flyer. Then we attack. We exile. Oh no, this one, I guess. Block, and they block. They're going to take 8 damage off of that block alone. Archfiend's down to 5. They have a Shieldred. This is just a mana source. We have to have 1 or fewer cards in hand. We clearly have more than that. They have 4 damage on board. I don't know if they have a direct damage source. The only thing I can think of with these Rakdos stacks is maybe like a burn down the house. Second Shieldred, devastating hit off the Carnosaur for them. Obviously, you're not really going to want to put that in. They put it in, sacrificing a creature, letting my Archfiend in the draw trigger twice, draining them for 4. Yeah, that's just tough. Good game, opponent. Definitely a really tough spot, because the only thing I was thinking of, well, no, because you die if you do the burn down the house play. Because if you make the 1/1, so then you somehow kill them, Archfiend still trigger and kill you first. Because that's a situation where they're the active player. The triggers will go in the stack for them first. Mine will go on second. So even if I went to 3 and they sacrificed 3, had 3 damage, they would all target me. And then my Archfiend triggers would go in the stack, resolving first. Because again, they're the active player. So active player, non-active player situation. So it's very cool way the Archfiend can work there. But just a troubled... Nothing good in the graveyard off the breach for their cruelty is kind of insane too. So that's tough. Alright, we go first. Holy tap lands, this deck. Sure. Let's play this land tapped, and this land tapped, and then this land tapped, and just hope we're not against mono red. Thoughts? Or Keeper come down, so we can play another tap land and still cast our Hammer Skull potentially. Deep Cavern back, going to probably have to take our go for the 3rd, I would imagine, but who's really sure what they'll take? I'm not. Well, we have to play Cottage regardless to play the Hammer Skull. Oh, they do it the opposite way. Okay. That's sick. This. Attack. Out. We see a block because, like, why would they? One turn. And we just say this go for a throat for, like, a bat that might be more important. Yeah, no Gix here. Preacher is fine to an extent. Obviously, I'm gonna get rid of Preacher, I think. Haunted Ridge. Let's play Fight Rigging. Hope maybe it's enough. And I'll take the only creature under there. Attack for 2. Now our creature's growing and growing and growing and growing. There's the Gix. Draw your card, King. Hit a land? You did. Nice. Ooh. Be a little bit more efficient with my turn. I can remove this, play that, and then play the Hulking Raptor, and then play Archfiend after. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Let's be maximum efficiency. Maximum efficiency here. I'd love to put another counter on the Lore Keeper, but that's just not going to happen this turn. We pass. Now Gix can't really attack. Children, sure. Draw. Not that opposed to what's happening right now. We'll lose our 2 life. We'll make our mana, and I'm going to slam into Tolly. Everything looking good so far, and our opponent says, I've had enough. Hey, it's just a Bramble Familiar. I mean, yeah, it sounds like fine, I think. You can play the Gorge, get the Lore Keeper down just in case of like a really good draw. If not, we'll attack with it and play our Cottage down tapped. Call it a day. Maybe. Black again. You want to cut down it? Uh-huh. Okay. And that makes sense. Play a Cottage and we'll pass. Now they're like, why did I cut down it? They had an untap. They had a land enter tapped. We had time. Sure he did. But yeah, we're gonna just play Cottage again. Then we're gonna play Landmore Waste, and we're gonna play our Raptor. No, we'll play maybe one of our Raptors. Here comes a bat. We'll see. Sure. Hey, this one. This in play, we actually get to play the Atali on the following turn if we play Raptor first. Kind of cool. Creature, yeah, that makes sense. Be a hit, that makes sense. They actually have less life than us, which is really cool. We're gonna play a land they know about. We're gonna play a Raptor. Have that ward, obviously no attack here, because like I said, actually I don't have the red, so I can't play the Atali regardless. Unless it's any color. It's any color. Okay. Well, can't play with Atali regardless because I got batted again. I love the bat. Or you can attack with your Preacher. It'll be fine, I imagine. Yeah, no block. Just swing back for 5. Eyeglass. Well, now swinging back's a little bit more questionable, I guess. And sure. Yes. Nice. Look, we even drew a land as well. Darn it. Nuts. Only a cut down in there that really matters. So we bring this up. And then it's attack, attack. We'll eat the cut down. My bat's coming in looking pretty fine and okay here. Be 9 damage if they don't block. They don't block, okay. 9 damage, and we also have a food token that we can pop for life, so we're technically at 19. They can go back up to 11, 12. We'll make another life linker. Maybe they'll play a Shieldred here. Wow, shocker. New season, all the Shieldreds are coming out to play. That's cool. A little bit more nervous than what they were, I think. I feel like just attacking out works. Like, How upset are you if it trades off a lore keeper? Probably not at all, right? But I think they're just afraid of dying on the backswing, which is fair. I do think you swing your lifelinker though, at least. Sure. Alright, I'll cast this one. Shieldred. I'll grab an Atali. I'll grab Urtai, I guess, maybe. And I can just blow up their Shieldred. Or I can just play Shieldred. Nah, I'm gonna blow up their Shieldred. I like blowing up their Shieldred. Atali trigger, Urtai, destroy a creature. We'll get this out of the way. Oh, hey, cut down's pretty sick. I'll just get play this land, and then Atali should be good. So grab my Atali back. Seems reasonable enough to me. The Nascon, and then I'll draw a card. Then I'll play my land. And realistically, like, it's an attack for 5, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's attack for 5 here. Because we still have the mana to play this Atali. Block their lifelinker. Sure. Alright, opponent. You're up. Got some game actions to take, I imagine. Play another land, not really a good sign for them. Obviously, they're probably looking for better cards. Cruelty at Gix only picks up the Atali and the Lore Keeper, but I would assume they'd pick a different mode. Kind of wild. We were really far behind there, and we did kind of what we needed to do, where we ripped a really high-end card from our deck and got to play it, which then hit another high-end card, of course, because kind of how Breach ends up working most of the times. And then we hit Natali, we put Natali, and then we kind of had a good selection from their deck as well, and we end up coming out on top, so very cool. Alright, I alluded to it in the beginning, and depending how my matches get cut, I played against a ton of mono red today. That's why I'm saying the deck's not good, because mono red makes every deck a lot of times feel not good, and everybody can attest to that in their own right if you've played Arena Best of 1. It's the beginning of a new season, and everybody's just trying to turbo run to Mythic, so for whatever reason, I don't know, because that's exciting and fun, I guess. But for me, I just wanted to play something wacky, and I just played Dinos yesterday, but today I was like, what if we just do Archfiend shenanigans and Hammerskull shenanigans still, and just use those two to trigger the fight rigging? But if it's fight rigging on 3 and then either of these on 4, or vice versa, depending, like if we have a Lore Keeper in early, we can put in the Hammerskull 1 turn early, and then we fight rigging after that. We can hit a lot of cool stuff. 4 Atalis, 4 Breach the Multiverse in here, and 2 copies of Virtue. The main thing I would probably end up putting into this list that wasn't in here, that we probably should have had in here, is Trumping Carnosaur. Just some extra like removal and another good hit for fight rigging, and not like that bad a turn early. For example, like if we have Lore Keeper and we get to play this on turn 3 instead, or like a Bramble Familiar and we get to play this on turn 3, that gives us our Carnosaur play on turn 4, which is really nice, and then it's also triggerable off this fight rigging. So probably you could have played that. The other thing is the mana base is pretty tough overall. I felt like a lot of times I had a lot of lands coming in tapped, or like having openers with just a ton of damage lands, like these ones. Like that's a lot of ping lands to be playing. So it's definitely a tough color to play as a combination, and being able to have that red available for the Atali is kind of important. But realistically, this could have just been a green-black deck and cut Atali for the most part and just played like Titan of Industries or something. Obviously, you don't get the cool pop-off potential that Atali has, but like, is making the mana this much more complicated worth it for Atali? Some may say, yeah. Maybe you just don't even play Atali. You just play something that makes treasures or something. Who really knows? But outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed the video today, and I'm going to call it there. I know today and the next coming days until the next set drops will be pretty tough for the lot of us, because obviously everybody wants new content, everybody wants new cards, and I will be playing some paper. Who knows? I might just upload a paper event if that's something you guys are interested in, because we do get access to them in paper tomorrow. Today recording it, it's Friday, which is pre-release day, and in paper that means they are legal. So we could try doing that, and I can just run a gauntlet like live in paper, or just like record it, break it down, shrink every game, so we can kind of just do what we want and get some paper. I know that's generally kind of against the grain of what YouTube likes. YouTube likes to do the same thing over and over again. So if it is something that you'd be interested in, please let me know, because I need to like know people are interested in, instead of me just like, because there's a lot of effort to set it up and like where we're at and the microphones and all that noise. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. Outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you're watching from, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.